Evidence on the ground in Uganda is pointing to the fact that Bobi Wine has won Uganda's presidential elections. Unfortunately, evidence on the ground is also suggesting that incumbent President Yoweri Museveni will be announced as the winner. And before we even talk about numbers, we need to talk about the drones. You see, in Uganda, that word does not necessarily mean something that is flying in the sky. It means those crazy unmarked vehicles that people fear in the night. Those vehicles that pull up fast, swallow a person, and vanish into the state's shadow. Even the UN Rights Office has described security forces in Uganda using unmarked vehicles known locally in Uganda as drones in abductions. Now, here are 7 circumstantial pieces of evidence from the ground. Exhibit 1. Have a look at this video. And as you do so, remember that Bobi Wine's party is called the National Unity Platform, popularly known as NUP. Its symbol is the umbrella.
Umbrella, 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 umbrella.
As you have seen, most people here voted for Bobi Wine. This scene that you have just seen has actually been replayed in many other polling stations across Uganda. Exhibit 2. 20 people are reported dead in Kitevi, Kampala, shot by security forces. These reported deaths are not yet confirmed officially. And as we saw in Tanzania, they may actually never be confirmed. These guys always want extrajudicial killings to remain in the realm of rumor. But we are turning the tables on them. The onus is on the government of Uganda to prove us wrong. Exhibit 3. Time was stolen in broad daylight. In central Kampala and the outskirts of the city, voting hadn't even begun by 11 a.m. In places like Atabi and Nkumba, in Entebbe municipality, delays dragged on for hours. Then the extension came like an insult. We're going to add you 1 hour. 4 hours lost, 1 hour added. That's not fixing process. That's manipulating turnout. Exhibit 4. The biometric system failed miserably when it mattered most. Ugandans paid a hefty, expensive amounts year after year for exactly this moment. Yet districts across the country reported power issues, crashes, and machines that couldn't verify voters. When the tech fails, the temptation to go manual becomes the perfect doorway for manipulation of results. Exhibit 5. The army and the police practically abducted the People's Integrity Police. At Aga Khan polling station in Kampala, eyewitnesses reported armed men whisking away NUP polling agents in those infamous drone vehicles. In Mitoma district, NUP agents were assaulted and detained. When agents disappear, the results sheet declare doctored results. Exhibit 6. Ugandans voted in the dark. The internet shutdown wasn't a security measure at all. It was an accountability shutdown. When citizens can't even document, share, verify, or coordinate, rumor wins and truth limps. Exhibit 7. Intimidation and chaos are doing the dirty work in Uganda. At Nabweru Community Islamic Primary School polling station in Ansana municipality, chaos erupted over alleged rigging and security deployed tear gas. At Kazondero Parish Headquarters polling station, a party chairperson tried to stop ballot stuffing, but he was instead beaten. He was later dumped at Bugangari police station. And in Kamoki's market area polling station, people literally use tape measure to mark the 20 meters that they are allowed to stand, just to keep watching the process like their future depends on it. Because indeed it does. The results that will be announced to you will say that Yoweri Museveni has won. But those results will be as fake as it gets. And Africa must do something about these charades of democracy that don't serve the people, that instead serve the corrupt ruling elite. And while we're at it, we need to take a long, hard look at the Western style democracy that has been governing Africa since independence. Because clearly, Western style democracy is not really serving the people of Africa. Before I conclude, I just want to remind you that Yoweri Museveni is running for his 7th time. If he wins unfairly, as we expect it to happen, he will be president for the 7th term. And this is going to be the 40th year that he has been president. That makes him one of the longest serving presidents in Africa. He is in the same club, the same inglorious club, with Cameroon's Paul Biya. And this is completely unacceptable. When you have these guys leading countries that long, they don't have any more new ideas. They don't. These guys are occupying those seats to achieve only one thing, and that is enriching themselves and their cronies. They retain power to protect their ill-gotten wealth. They retain power to continue serving the interests of their fellow corrupt ruling elite, to continue serving the interests of the foreign players who benefit from their decades of misrule. And we also need to address one more thing. A lot of people like saying of Museveni that he is not a puppet of the West, that he's standing up to global bullies. Yet he himself is a local bully. He is elected president to serve the people of Uganda. He is not elected president to showcase the bravado, to showcase Pan-Africanism bravado. That sounds good when he says it, but the people of Uganda elected him to make their lives better. And he is not doing that. Yoweri Museveni started off great. When he became president in 1986, he started off really great. And the Museveni of back then, the Museveni of 1986, would never ever vote for the Museveni of 2026. That says a lot about the person that he has become. It is not going to be fair for the people of Uganda to have somebody that they did not elect as their president. Somebody who is beyond the revolutionary, visionary leader that he was. He is no longer that kind of leader anymore. So it is so critical for the people of Africa to realize that Western-style democracy continues rewarding people like Museveni, people like Museveni, people like Paul Biya, does not reward the people of Africa at all. So we must rethink this Western-style democracy. We must have that continental conversation on how can we have an Afrocentric form of governance that is truly serving the people of Africa. My name is DJ Bokali, and Africa is my superpower.